Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. This week marks the return of Bungie's This Week at Bungie blog posts. The blog posts are usually written by Destiny community manager Deej, and it's where we get all of the information that we need about the live game as well as news, upcoming events, and community highlights. If you're new to Destiny, it would be wise to bookmark Bungie.net as it is the best reliable source for official Destiny news. This Week at Bungie had been on a short holiday break, but now it's back for its first post in 2017. And while there are no major announcements this week, Deej talks about plenty of things that we have to look forward to and reassures us that while the dawning might be over, there is still plenty to look forward to in the world of Destiny. Before we jump into the news, I did want to quickly mention the recent whispers about Crimson Days that has been circulating the web. A lot of these rumors started with the surprise inclusion of the Crimson Days exclusive gear and loot from last year, returning as post-game rewards during SRL last month. There were also some questionable sources beginning to report that Bungie isn't guaranteeing any more content for Destiny 1 after the Dawning event, which would be pretty surprising since we have most of 2017 to get through before the rumored release of Destiny 2. The good news is that Deej addressed the topic of content right at the start of the latest blog. He states, "All the while we've kept our ears pressed to the internet. We are always listening. We know that a new year brings new questions. What's the next stop on our journey? When do we learn about the future? For starters, you haven't heard the last from the live team at Bungie. They're hard at work at another content update that will give you new reasons to fight. Before renewed orders from the Vanguard arrive, there will be a batch of fixes for some issues that you've been talking about." Now, this is a very exciting and very reassuring statement. It immediately debunks the rumor that there will be no more content for Destiny 1. It also gives us some hints about what kinds of content we can expect. For starters, he mentions that the live team is hard at work at another content update that will give us new reasons to fight, and then he starts the next sentence with "before renewed orders from the Vanguard arrive." I think it's pretty safe to interpret this as not only story content inbound, but PvE content that will be issued by the Vanguard, which is where we often receive new PvE quests. Now, unfortunately, this does throw some more credence to the rumors that Crimson Days may not be returning this year. I would love to see it come back, but as I mentioned in my review of the Dawning event, these holiday events only work best when coupled with permanent PvE content. In my opinion, that's what made the Dawning such a success. I think I'm in that minority who actually loved Crimson Days. I think Crimson Doubles was one of the most clever Crucible game modes I've played, and I still maintain that it got its bad rap only because it was deployed at the time when players were already frustrated and upset about lack of communication about future content. So I would actually love to see it come back, of course hopefully paired up with some juicy new PvE content for us to sink our teeth into. Whatever this new content update ends up being, let's just hope it's delivered sooner than later. There is also the next part of the statement where Deej mentions that before renewed orders from the Vanguard arrive, there will be a batch of fixes for some issues that you've been talking about. So it appears we'll be getting a series of patches in the very near future to address some issues that have been lingering from last year. And we've actually been given a preview of one of those patches, and that patch is Destiny Hotfix 2.5.0.1. And that patch will actually become available at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Tuesday, January the 17th. Some of the bullet points for that patch include that some patrol missions in the Plaguelands are not reliably causing enemies to drop their respective objective items. Next, Xur's curio inventory varies on a weekly basis due to a limitation of his inventory space. Next, weapon stability on the Nova Mortis and Abaddon exotic machine guns is inconsistent. So of course we all assume that all of these things will be fixed and no longer an issue. I know this will be a big sign of relief as Xur's suddenly rotating stock kept many players frustrated who were hoping to grind out those exotics over the holidays. And so I can only assume that they're going to increase Xur's inventory space so it stops randomly rotating. But of course, as always, full patch notes will be made available alongside the release of the hotfix. Now, more patches are going to soon follow them as the team continues to investigate some remaining issues. They continue to point out some ongoing issues from the 2.5 patch. First up, rounds may not end as expected when all players on a fire team have been defeated in elimination game types. Skeleton keys may be removed erroneously from character inventory. Acquiring the Icebreaker from weekly Vanguard Elite Bounty does not unlock the corresponding Grimoire card, and finally players who have completed the Songs from the Void quest will see a waypoint above Ikora in the tower, where players need to speak instead with Commander Zavala to receive the following quest. This is in reference to the Nova Mornic quest leading into the Abaddon quest. This one actually affected me, and it took me a while to realize that I just simply had to speak to Commander Zavala to pick up the quest for the Abaddon. So they'll be addressing these in a future patch, hopefully alongside some changes to the economy or maybe even the sandbox. I still have my fingers crossed for an imminent weapon tuning. It's definitely well overdue. But anyways, the last major thing they touched on in the blog post is the return of Lord Ephrodite to the Iron Temple, marking the first Iron Banner of the new year. The event will kick off next Tuesday, 10 AM Pacific, and will of course last for 1 week. Here are some of the images of what you can acquire. The weapons available this month are the Sidearm and Rocket Launcher, both very good weapons. And I have to say the Iron Saga gear looks really good with the Gold Spiral shader in the picture here, so I may just have to farm up the perfect set. Anyways, now that we know we're getting more content from the live team, what do you think it'll be? And do you think it'll be at the scale of what we got from the Dawning in a reasonable amount of time? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more Destiny content. And I will see you all next time. Would you like Destiny to bring back old raids? I miss Vault of Glass. I think we all miss Vault of Glass. And I really do think that they're going to bring them back. But I really don't think that they're simply just going to increase the light level. I really think they're going to reinvent the entire raid.